The arena in Rio de Janeiro pulses with energy. A sea of Brazilian flags waving under the bright lights of the UFC octagon. The air is thick with anticipation. The kind that only comes when a hometown hero steps into the cage. Tonight it's Charles Oliveira, the lightweight champion known as Do Bronx, defending his title against Justin Gaethje, the human highlight reel whose fights are a symphony of controlled chaos. The crowd's chants of "Do Bronx! Do Bronx!" reverberate as Bruce Buffer's voice cuts through the noise, introducing the challenger first. Gaethje, with his intense stare and relentless energy, strides to the cage, his walkout music barely audible over the roar of the fans. He's a man who thrives on violence, his fists and shins weapons of destruction. Then comes Oliveira, the Sao Paulo native, his face calm but his eyes burning with purpose. The Rio crowd erupts, a tidal wave of pride for their champion, who's riding an 11-fight win streak and carries the hopes of a nation on his shoulders. Joe Rogan's voice crackles through the broadcast, his excitement palpable. "We are in for an absolute war tonight, DC. Charles Oliveira, the most dangerous submission artist in the division, against Justin Gaethje, who brings carnage every time he steps in there. This is grappler versus striker at its finest." Daniel Cormier, sitting beside him, nods. "Joe, Oliveira's got 16 submission wins, but Gaethje's power is something else. Those leg kicks, those hooks, he's a human wrecking ball. Can Oliveira get this to the ground before Gaethje lands something big?" The tension is electric as the referee signals the start. The bell rings and the fight begins. Oliveira circles to his left, his stance low, hands loose, ready to shoot for a takedown or fire off a jab. Gaethje, true to form, stalks forward, his hands high, eyes locked on his target. He flicks out a low kick, the crack echoing as it slams into Oliveira's lead leg. The champion winces but keeps moving, his footwork fluid. Rogan's voice rises. "Gaethje's already chopping at that leg. That's gonna add up quick if Oliveira doesn't counter." "Oliveira, move by Oliveira," Cormier says. He's slowing this down, trying to weather the storm. Gaethje hammers short punches to Oliveira's ribs, but the champion's grip is tight, his jiu-jitsu instincts kicking in. In a flash, Oliveira drops to his back, pulling guard and dragging Gaethje to the mat. The crowd roars as he locks in a body triangle, his legs cinched around Gaethje's waist. Rogan's voice is frantic. "This is where Oliveira lives." Gaethje's in deep water now. Look at that control from the bottom. Oliveira's arms snake around Gaethje's posture, breaking him down, setting up a sweep. Gaethje fights to stay upright, throwing short punches to Oliveira's face, but the champion's guard is active, his hips moving like a chess master plotting checkmate. Oliveira transitions to an armbar, his legs swinging up to trap Gaethje's arm. "Armbar, he's got it," Rogan yells. Gaethje, grimacing, pulls his arm free with raw power, scrambling back to his feet. The fighters stand and Gaethje wastes no time. He charges forward, landing a brutal uppercut that snaps Oliveira's head back. The champion collapses to the canvas, the crowd gasping in unison. Oliveira's down. "Gaethje's swarming," Cormier shouts. Gaethje dives in with ground and pound, his fists raining down as Oliveira covers up, his face bloodied. But Oliveira's not done. He rolls, catching Gaethje's arm in a desperate move, and pulls him into a guillotine choke. The arena explodes as Oliveira locks it in, his forearms flexing, veins bulging. "Guillotine. It's deep," Rogan screams. Gaethje's face reddens as he struggles, his hands clawing at Oliveira's arms. The champion tightens the choke, his legs wrapping tighter to prevent Gaethje's escape. Gaethje lifts Oliveira, trying to slam him to break the hold, but the champion's grip is unrelenting. The crowd is deafening, chanting "Do Bronx" as Gaethje's movements slow. "He's fading, Joe," Cormier yells. "Oliveira's got this sunk in." Gaethje's hand taps frantically on Oliveira's shoulder, and the referee jumps in, waving it off. The arena erupts as Oliveira releases the choke and leaps to his feet, arms raised in triumph. Rogan's voice booms. Charles Oliveira does it again. A guillotine choke out of nowhere to retain his title in front of his home crowd in Rio. Unbelievable. Oliveira climbs the cage, soaking in the adulation of the Brazilian fans, his belt draped over his shoulder. Gaethje, ever the warrior, shakes his hand, a nod of respect between two gladiators. Cormier's voice is filled with awe. "What a fight, Joe." Gaethje brought the pressure, landed huge shots, but Oliveira's heart and jiu-jitsu are just on another level. "This is why he's the champ," Rogan agrees. 11 seconds shy of 3.5 minutes, and this fight had everything. Knockdowns, submission attempts, pure chaos. Oliveira's a problem for anybody in this division. Bruce Buffer takes the mic, his voice commanding the arena's attention. As the fans chant his name in unison, the broadcast shifts to the post-fight analysis. Rogan leans into his mic. DC, let's break this down. GAETHJE came out like a freight train, rocking Oliveira twice in the first minute. But that guillotine, it was like Oliveira was waiting for his moment. Cormier nods. That's the thing about Charles. He's been hurt before, dropped before, but he always finds a way. GAETHJE's power is terrifying, but Oliveira's ability to stay composed under fire and snatch a submission is what makes him special. The replay shows the critical moment, GAETHJE's uppercut landing, Oliveira hitting the canvas, then seamlessly transitioning to the choke. Look at that, Rogan says. He's eating bombs, but his brain is still working, setting up that guillotine. That's champion-level instincts. In the octagon, Oliveira embraces his team, his face a mix of blood and pride. The Rio crowd hasn't stopped chanting, their energy a testament to the bond between fighter and fans. GAETHJE, meanwhile, walks back to his corner, head high despite the loss. Rogan reflects on the bigger picture. This lightweight division is a shark tank. You've got Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, and now Oliveira proving he's not going anywhere. Who do you give him next, DC? Cormier pauses. Tough call, Joe. Makhachev's got the grappling to challenge Oliveira. But after a performance like this, Charles has earned the right to pick his shot. This man is a Brazilian legend. The broadcast winds down with a final shot of Oliveira, belt over his shoulder, waving to the crowd as fireworks light up the arena. The commentators sign off, their voices still buzzing with excitement. What a night in Rio, Rogan says. Charles Oliveira, the king of comebacks, proves once again why he's the lightweight champ. For Daniel Cormier, I'm Joe Rogan. Good night from UFC Rio. The screen fades to black, the crowd's chants lingering as the feed cuts out. This fight, though imagined in Rio, captures the essence of Oliveira's real victory over GAETHJE at UFC 274. The champion's resilience, his ability to absorb punishment and find a finish, shone through in a way that would electrify any crowd, especially one in his home country. Oliveira's journey from unranked underdog to dominant champion resonates in every moment of this script, a testament to